I was speaking with a medical doctor, my friend, who grew up in Israel, and we started talking about measles. And she said, "Oh, wasn't that one of the childhood diseases that was easiest to go through?" And my experience of measles wasn't that. So I was thinking, are we talking about the same disease? How can my measles be so severe? And you're saying that your measles was the easiest disease to handle. And that got me thinking, why is it that in Africa, children have different symptoms of measles than what I had in Ukraine, and a child who grew up in Israel would have even a totally different experience of measles. I'm thinking about measles as the easiest childhood disease to go through. So then I started looking at how immune system deals with infections. And what I realized is that there are innate pathways in the immune system that are very much dependent on certain nutrients. For example, there is antiviral pathway that really depends on vitamin A. And if that pathway is not working, then you would have predisposition to diarrhea because your mucosal immunity in the gut is not working. Also, you would have a more severe measles or any viral infection spread through the body. You would also have eye symptoms because the body will try to pull vitamin A out of the eyes to deal with immune response to that virus. And if you are starting as vitamin A deficient, you would have eye symptoms, which include redness and photophobia, such that children even need to sit in a dark room during measles. Well, that wasn't happening for me. When I had my measles, I didn't have to sit in a dark room. I didn't have any eye symptoms. What I had was a very strong respiratory symptoms, a very strong cough. When I looked into what's responsible for respiratory symptoms, or what vitamin deficiency is responsible for that, it's vitamin D deficiency. That's why we are having flu during winter months when we are insufficient on vitamin D. And in Ukraine, we had tons of food which are rich in vitamin A. We had grass-fed butter, organ meats, and we were doing that on a regular basis as a traditional diet. So children were never vitamin A deficient in Ukraine the way they are in Africa. When you approach immunology conventionally, it might look like a very complicated and boring science, and that is because the way it is presented to students of immunology, to medical doctors, has nothing to do with reality, really. You cannot figure out from studying the textbook of immunology how to improve the function of your immune system. It's there, it's functioning in theory, but for some reason in reality it's not functioning, and doctors are not trained from that textbook of immunology on how to make it function again.